want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So she was, everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week.
Bill Maher's appearance on The View sparked a heated moment when he called out the hosts for their lack of diverse perspectives. The co-hosts were left speechless, unable to respond to his sharp critique. How did the audience react to this rare moment of discomfort? Was Maher's criticism a wake-up call or just an uncomfortable clash?
And originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want, because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know.
If you're even slightly familiar with The View, you know that it's no stranger to controversy. The show has been the source of some seriously heated moments over the years, whether it's political arguments, social commentary, or the occasional celebrity beef. But Bill Maher's recent appearance turned things up a notch. Known for his unapologetic humor and biting political commentary, Maher has long been a critic of left-leaning media, and he didn't shy away from calling out The View for its handling of free speech, political discourse, and the way it treats differing opinions.
Show, the winners, the losers. My message to the losers, losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should, sorry. Well, that's my feeling. Losers, look in the mirror, okay?
During a memorable appearance on The View, Bill Maher didn't hold back in challenging the hosts, especially Whoopi Goldberg. Known for calling out hypocrisy, Maher wasted no time in pointing out the lack of diversity in thought on the panel. He bluntly stated, "There's a real problem with echo chambers, and I'm seeing it right here on this show. You guys talk about inclusivity, but what about ideological inclusivity?" The room went silent. Whoopi, Joy Behar, and the others were visibly caught off guard by the directness of Maher's remarks.
Right, okay, but that doesn't mean, you can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It is half the country.
I have some in my family. I don't think they're Nazis.
Okay, great. I'm glad we got that. I don't want you hurt in the supermarket.
Bill continued, "It's not enough to just have people who look different. You need to hear different ideas too." His critique stunned the panel, as it was an uncomfortable truth many of them were reluctant to address. The moment highlighted how Maher's willingness to challenge liberal groupthink left the hosts speechless. Bill Maher, in his signature style, focused a lot of his attention on what he saw as the left's growing intolerance for diverse opinions, especially on mainstream media platforms like The View. According to Bill, The View has turned into a show that pushes one narrative, often silencing any dissenting voices. Maher's main issue was with how certain viewpoints are dismissed outright, without room for debate or discussion. He called out the way they treat those who dare to question the mainstream narrative, specifically about the growing trend of cancel culture. According to Bill, canceling people for their opinions isn't just unfair, it's un-American. He emphasized the importance of free speech, not just when everyone agrees, but also when someone says something controversial or unpopular. "We don't need free speech when we're all in agreement. We need it when we're wrong," Maher stated passionately. His direct challenge to Whoopi and the other hosts became a defining moment. The problem wasn't just that they disagreed with him. It was that they weren't even willing to entertain the possibility of a differing viewpoint. The phrase, "It's called The View, not the facts," resonated deeply with viewers, highlighting the irony of a show named for offering diverse perspectives while refusing to actually listen to any but their own. Bill didn't just stop at free speech. He took aim at the broader political landscape, particularly focusing on how the left has been handling former President Donald Trump and his policies. During his segment, Maher reminded everyone that the left has a tendency to undermine any positive steps taken by Trump's administration. One key moment was when Maher was asked about Trump's immigration policy, specifically the deportation of millions of immigrants. Maher wasn't having it. He turned the conversation on its head, mocking the absurdity of the question, and threw in a remark about how Trump's critics were obsessed with pointing out the flaws without recognizing his actions in dealing with key issues. Maher's tone wasn't hateful. It was laced with sarcasm and humor, which is his trademark. But the hosts couldn't find a way to counter his points. Instead, they just let the tension rise, unable to respond with their usual sharp retorts. The audience, however, could tell that Maher had exposed something raw, the inability to engage in genuine political discourse without falling back on partisan talking points. Whoopi Goldberg, who's known for her fiery personality, didn't exactly back down, but instead tried to defend the notion of cancel culture. But Bill wasn't having any of it. He called out the absurdity of the concept of timeouts for people who make controversial comments, like Whoopi herself. "It's so insulting to make someone of her age and sophistication reflect on their comments," Bill said, in reference to the decision to pull Whoopi off the air after some controversial remarks she made in the past. The irony? Whoopi had defended her right to free speech, but here she was, defending a system that punishes people for speaking out. Bill made the point that the very essence of free speech is about being able to make mistakes and not having to worry about losing your job or reputation over it. This was an explosive exchange, with Whoopi seeming to grasp the depth of Bill's argument, but unwilling to accept the reality of the situation. It was the moment The View had been avoiding for years, acknowledging that people on the left may be as guilty of silencing others as the right wing they so often criticize. The fallout from Bill Maher's appearance on The View didn't stop with the hosts. Social media lit up with heated discussions. Some fans praised Maher for his bravery, calling him the voice of reason in a sea of political correctness. Others, however, didn't take kindly to his criticism of the show and the left-leaning political stance it often promotes. A popular sentiment was that The View had become too predictable, repeating the same narrative over and over without room for alternative viewpoints. Fans of Bill Maher argued that he was giving a voice to the silenced and exposing the dangers of one-sided media. One Twitter user summed it up perfectly. "Bill Maher just showed us what happens when you speak truth to power. Everyone gets uncomfortable." On the flip side, The View's loyal followers were quick to defend the hosts, claiming that Maher was simply being provocative for the sake of ratings. Some critics took issue with Maher's dismissive tone and sarcastic delivery, accusing him of undermining meaningful dialogue in favor of making a flashy point. As Maher let loose on The View's shortcomings, the audience's response was telling. There were no applause or cheers, and at one point, the co-hosts were completely silent. It was a rare moment of pure discomfort on The View. It's safe to say that many viewers on social media were loving every second of it. Fans flooded Twitter with reactions, with some praising Maher for his boldness and others criticizing the hosts for their inability to engage with opposing views. Bill Maher just did what no one else on The View has the guts to do: call them out for their hypocrisy, one fan tweeted. Another fan shared, "Maher's absolutely right. Diversity of thought is just as important as diversity of appearance." Some viewers even suggested, "Someone needs to tell the hosts of The View that being woke doesn't mean only hearing one side of the story." It's clear that Bill Maher's sharp criticism didn't land well with the View crew, but the real question is, what will this mean for the future of the show? Will it cause a shift in how The View operates and handles different perspectives? Will the hosts become more open to hearing alternative viewpoints, or will they double down on their existing stance? One thing is for sure, Bill Maher's comments have left a lasting impression. The show's dynamic has changed, and the public's perception of The View might never be the same again. Bill Maher's appearance on The View was more than just a heated exchange. It was a cultural moment that challenged not only the hosts, but also the entire landscape of political discourse in the media. It's clear that Maher isn't afraid to speak truth to power, even when it means upsetting the status quo. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Bill Maher's critique of The View and the left's approach to free speech? Or do you think he went too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more exclusive content. Stay tuned for the latest gossip, hot takes, and entertainment news coming your way.